They use the mycelium that are long buds upon which, for example, mushrooms grow. And there's this whole underground life form that because it's underground, we don't see it, we don't know it. And then every so often, a mushroom will pop up in great authors like the guy who did Sherlock Holmes. Who wrote that? It's just Joy wrote that he thought they were fairies, that they were alive. This great writer, Sir Alexander Doyle, wrote that these mushrooms are magic. They're fairy. They are. There's the fruit of the mycelium underground. Trees use the mycelium or mycelium from tree to tree. It sends electrochemical signals. Our brains use electrochemical signals along our dendrites. The trees are using the same mechanism to signal that we use in our brains. How far apart is a tree from us in life? So, what is the meaning of life? I think the meaning of life is life. That there is a demand by whatever causes life to be alive. And it goes for microbes in rocks from outer space. And it goes for worms existing in hot vents under the sea at 600 degrees Fahrenheit. So the absolute freezing of space at 600 degrees Fahrenheit, there's still life. So how dare we say, what is our meaning in life? We have to ask, what is the meaning of life in the universe? Because there is life in the universe. And of course I have no answer. Just another question. Yes, next question.
Mr. Shatner, I don't know how to follow it up. You can either answer your
yes or no.
recall your time you canoed from Montreal to New York City, which are right in one of your books. Or you can talk about did you canoe from Montreal to New York City as a child?
I did.
Yeah, I would like to hear that story.
Oh, canoe. Yeah. So I worked at a welfare camp I'm born in Montreal. And north of Montreal are these wonderful mountains, like the Adirondack, same chain of mountains. And there was a boys' camp for poor kids in the city of Montreal, and I was a counselor there. I was 18 years old. I didn't know anything. And these were kids from Europe who had seen their parents killed. These were not normal children. These were children who had lived through hell and death and destruction. I mean, the things they saw, we can't even imagine. So these were tough kids. And the only way I had of controlling the bulk that I was responsible for was they always wanted me to tell them ghost stories. I had a talent for telling stories that they didn't know. And I would tell them these terrible ghost stories. The Hindu Haka movie where there's a heartbeat in the house. And the guy there doesn't know where it's coming from. But could it be the person he buried inside the cement down in the cellar? And then the door is locked. He runs to the door and there's somebody there saying, have you heard this beating heart? And it's the whole story about ghosts and beating hearts and dead bodies in the cellar. And I was in demand to tell that story. And I want you to listen to me. You better do what I'm saying. Everybody get quiet. We're going to eat now. Or I won't tell you a story tonight. And so I was a counselor at this camp. And so there was a lot of hardy Canadians. And towards the end of that first year that I was his counselor, the head of the camp, I even remember his name. I can't remember Denver's, but I can remember Scotty Brockman's name. So Scotty Brockman said, anybody who would like to go to the attack, or maybe it's not a fly. So Scotty Brockman said, I've got this Indian war canoe. It seats 8 people. I'm one. So there's 7 counselors. Who wants to cough? Who wants to cough? I said, I'll cough. So Scotty Brockman said, we've got room for 7 people. What I want to do is take this war canoe from Montreal up the St. Lawrence River to the Richelieu River, which runs out of Lake Champlain, paddle the length of Lake Champlain, 150 miles or something, portage to Lake George, which is an alpine lake, the length of Lake George to the headwaters of the Hudson River, and then down from the headwaters of the Hudson River to New York City. It will take 8 days. Who wants to go? I put my hand up. So I paddled when I was 18 years old. Took 8 days, saw all these wonderful things around big cities, and made it to 72nd Street in New York. We were on television, crazy Canadian kids paddling along the way. It was a beautiful event in my life, and it is also, they want to get in, some of you don't see. It was also my seeing nature in its rawness, which is now all built up in our cities and, our civilization has taken over. In fact, one of the songs that I wrote for a performance at Kennedy Center I did some while ago was 8 Days on the River, and it's celebrating that event. Okay. Save the applause and just throw money or something else. Next question.
Hi, my name is Keith. I'm from Oklahoma.
Okay, good.
Yeah, very light.
It's like amazing.
And I kind of think you answered your question by that story there, because about the meaning of life, you were making life better for those kids at that camp. And I think that's what a lot of us are called to do. We're places that are destroyed or messed up, or even kids that need some help.
Everybody needs help.
Yeah, you did that. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking to a group this morning, and an educator asked me what's it important to teach. I know enough. I'm totally aware of how stupidly ignorant I am about everything. I have no answers. All I have is an opinion. Right? So what I told her, in my opinion, that the thing you need to teach children, and teach everybody, I mean adults as well, is awareness of the miracle that we're living. No matter how bad our circumstances are, We're still living a conscious miracle. We can be conscious of the person beside us. We can be conscious of the tree, the dog, the sky, the joke, everything. We can't allow ourselves in life to be callous enough not to be aware of everything. If you teach a child, learn, study science, study medicine, study arithmetic, study algebra, it's all a miracle. Pick from the things you learn, things that interest you, and then further. But be aware, the miracle of life is in front of all of us, and we can't lose that consciousness. That's what I said. What do you do? You give it to your mother? Oh, give you money? No, sweetheart, thanks. But give it to somebody, it is. That's it. You know what I did? Is this my dog? Can you hear it? What I did, that was interesting. You gave the dollar bill to your friend and passed it on to somebody else. Every so often I give him the keys to the city. You know, oh, here comes Shatner. Oh, yeah, but here's the key to the city. So it's good publicity for the mayor, you know. And I don't know what do I need a key to a city for? My question is, where's the law? But what I did a while ago, and I've done it a number of times now, is I've signed it. I've signed it. And I've said to the audience, hey audience, bid on this key. They bid money, and it'll go to the charity that they pick. Okay, that's one. Two is, the person who bid, who gets the key, has to find a bidder for that to give the money to charity. So it's pass it on. And I've done that in 2 or 3 places, and apparently it's working. So if the key comes up for bidding, give the money to charity, and your dollar bill. Next question.
Well, I didn't get to answer my question.
Well, what's your question?
Well, you started talking and I didn't get to.
You know what would be better for me if you started talking.
Okay.
And what's the meaning of life?
Let's pick up off of that and go to speaking of those that were beside us. How many times do you think you hit Leonard's bicycle on that?
That's fun. Right. Well, that story about Leonard and Roy's bicycle. We would shoot Starker on a stage that had a number, I think it was 33 or something. Far way up where the lot is, way up far in the lot. The commissary, where people would eat, was way down there. So it took 10 minutes. They would say lunch, and we walked down to the commissary. But you only had a half an hour for lunch. So there's this long line, like the line getting in from the cars this morning. That was unbelievable. So there'd be this long line of people waiting to get lunch. And you couldn't get lunch in time to get back because you had to be there shooting. So the solution to that was to get there as quickly as possible. So I was a pretty good athlete as a kid, and I ran very fast. So when the first assistant would say, all right, everybody, lunch, I was like, okay, fine. And I'd be in time to get some lunch. Whereas Leonard was tall and gangly, he was a swimmer, well, again, and he would eat lunch. So one day, he brought his bike to the studio. And when the guy said, look, Leonard was out of the door on his bike. He was first in line at the commissary. So the next day, while he wasn't looking, I had brought a chain and a lock, and I locked the bike to a hydrant. and I knocked the door. Leonard runs to his bike to get his bike. He said, Shatner! Next day, he brought a pair of bolt cutters, and he cut the chain. Got there first. I got there first. So the next day, I said to Leonard, he said, we looked and we ran out, no bike. He said, Shatner, where's my bike? I said, Leonard, people are stealing bikes in the studio. It's in my dressing room. It's just right over there. Go to my dressing room. I put it away for safekeeping. So he runs to my dressing room. Oh, shoot. I forgot to tell him. My 2 Dobermans were in the... So the last day, to give you a number, I put my arm around him and I said, come here. And I took him into the stage. And I said, lift your eyes to the sky. They looked up. There on a spotlight, up on the roof, was his bike. Yes, sir.
Hi, William. My name is Tasso, and so last August I was actually visiting Lake George, New York, and I happened to find this pretty cool Star Trek museum. And
Ticonderoga.
Right. So I don't know if you want to share about that with the audience, but I actually was just if there are any other museums like that that would be good to visit.
Well, in Ticonderoga, upstate New York, it's a legendary town where I think the Indians, the English, the French, and the Americans all fought in the war. So there was a big fort at Ticonderoga and a small town of Ticonderoga. And this guy by the name of James Cowell, who had perfected an act of impersonating Elvis. Yeah, in a small town, James Cowell, and he's great at it. And he tours with it. And he makes a great deal of money touring with his band as Elvis. Played Las Vegas, he won all kinds of awards and made a lot of money. Comes back to Ticonderoga, and because he started work as a, I don't know what you call a male seamstress, but he sewed. And he was hired to sew Star Trek costumes. Bill Tice was the designer of the costumes, and he hired James Cowell to help sew these costumes, especially the women's wear. And somehow James got a copy of the blueprint of all the permanent sets that were on stage 32, whatever it was. So James Cowell comes back to Ticonderoga and builds himself in a big building, exact replica of all the sets. And people come to see it, pay money. And he's building the next generation sets. And he's making a fortune bringing the actors up. So every so often I'll go up and do this talk. But what I try to do, it's kind of a magical thing when it happens. The Native American name for a talk is a Chautauqua. And it's a lovely sounding word, Chautauqua. And I would have a Chautauqua in the control room. So it'd be 50, 60, maybe 100 people sitting on seats in the control room. And I want to keep it futuristic. And the people that turned out to be like one of those 100 people were professors and scientists. The quality of the audience, unlike this one. Ouch. The quality of the audience, like yourself, I really do. I mean, you hear the questions. It's so beautiful that what evolved out of the Chautauqua was a subject matter. It came about almost like a ghost, like a spirit. Like there was smoke and there was smoke. And finally, we had this subject. And it might have been for a doctor. I'm talking about what the future of medicine is. And then people chime in on the future of this and that. And it becomes a really extraordinary experience. I've been up there many times, and the same people are there. And they verify that each of these hour talks are totally different from each other. So it's been a really great experience for me to help guide these Shatankas up there. So if you're going to do anything like that, you'll have a great time in the science fiction way to these sets up there. Okay? Question?
Ben from here in San Antonio. I just wanted to say that my grandmother was a really big fan of yours.
Could it be your daughter? It would have to be your grand. You know, I'm waiting for the person. My great grandmother.
No, I just wanted to say that it was her diamond wish to meet you, so I'm glad you came to this. Thank you for being an inspiration to a lot of generations and for future generations to come.
What's your question? I mean, can I date your grandmother? I mean, what's the question?
Well, that was what I wanted to say.
Yeah, but that's a statement. You need a question. Otherwise, we'll never know your grandmother.
Well,
You go ahead. Well,
what was it like?
there you go. What was it like? That's certainly the beginning of the question.
Well, what was it like working with
Who? But now you're going to repeat yourself. What was it like to work with Revelation coming?
Leonard Nimoy. What was it like working with him?
I wrote a book called Leonard a little while ago. Leonard, along the way, became my dearest friend. Became the brother I never had. I loved him. And I believe he loved me. And the strangeness is that he was born in Boston. I was born in Montreal, which is, a while, 300 miles from Boston, but the same kind of older city, the history with people. He was born, same kind of family. He was born with the desire to be an actor. He said the same kind of struggle I had as an actor. His life was filled with some of the same incidences of mine, with divorce and death and, the difficulty of life, as well as the joys. And we shared that life. And so many times we would be in a car together, run someplace, and we'd talk, or we'd be on stage making each other laugh. It was a great relationship. And so I wrote this book about the things we did together. The only thing that happened that I can't understand, we were, sometime prior to him dying, we were all in a car together. He and I, 3 or 4 other actors, going somewhere in a limo. And we were smoking. And somebody said, I'm giving up smoking, threw the cigarette up the window. He said, and I said, yesterday I went to kiss my baby, hello, goodbye. And he said, oh, Daddy, you smell of smoke. I said, I'm quitting smoking. I don't want to smoke a cigarette to my children. And each one of the actors there said, I'm giving up smoking for their reason. The only one who didn't give up smoking was Leonard. And he died of emphysema. So my thought is this. For about 3 months prior to him dying, you wouldn't see me. I kept saying, I love him. He absolutely would have nothing to do with me. I wrote him a note, because I knew he was dying. I wrote him a note saying how much I cared about him and how I don't understand why you won't talk to me, but whatever it is, I still love you. And I don't know whether they read the note to him or not, but that was the end of the relationship. So it's a bit bizarre. I still don't understand it. Okay?
Thank you.
Question.
Hello,
Aloha?
Aloha. I'm from Maui, Ohio. I didn't pick out the way you said it. I want to thank you for being inspiration to many people. I think that's a wonderful gift that you were given. My question, I hope it's not a little bit, but where do you see the evolution of acting with AI and the human connectivity?
Yeah. You know, there was a strike last year. It went on for, I think, the longest strike ever, over that question. AI, as we all know, is an extraordinary invention by this duality that humans have. We humans are part devil and part God. We destroy things, we make war, we kill. We have no consciousness, so few people have consciousness about other lives, not just human, but animal, plant. We have so little consciousness of our place on Earth and therefore in the universe. We destroy, we eat up, we muck up, we defile, we crap on everything. You know, in Texas and in the North Pacific, there's a plastic garbage pail the size of Texas in the North Atlantic, filled with all the debris. Apparently, currents from the Pacific sweep up there, and everything is put into the ocean, eventually ends up there. It's horrific. We've invented, for example, we invented plastic. Plastic takes the place of paper. We don't need to cut down any more trees. What a benefit! What a great thing, plastic. It's indestructible. Oh my God, it's ending up in the ocean. Oh my God, the action of the ocean waves chip off these little bits of plastic, which the fish are ingesting, which we ingest. Everything here, everybody here has little bits of plastic floating in their blood. We don't know what it's doing to us and what it's going to do to us because we're getting more and more in our blood. Plastic, what a benefit, what a curse. And that's mankind. We live, we invent hi-fi, Wi-Fi, we invent the means of reaching all around the world, of spreading information. We now have the ability with our phones to source every library about anything. You can ask your phone any question and it'll answer it. It's the most miraculous thing, and it's getting bigger and better. The invention of some mechanical thing that can reach that Wi-Fi, source every bit of information there, bring it back to you, and you can make what you will. Not only that, it can imitate your voice. It can imitate your likeness. It's an incredible invention that if it's used properly, there's no time where humankind can end in a short time. But right now, cancer is being cured by access to information that doctors don't have time to get to. But that this new invention will evolve. It's a miracle. And yet, along with plastic and everything else, the potential to harm humans, the potential to have somebody who looks like somebody but isn't, saying things that that person wouldn't say, is there. It's in front of us. How do we handle it? We've got to, before it's all too late, we've got to handle global warming. We've got to handle it. AI. We've got to think about it. We've got to think about it. The good things the beneficial part of our mind has got to come to solutions that guide the other part of our minds, which are equally valuable. They're the part that makes us reach out. They're the parts that lead to exploration. They're the parts that egotistical men inventing things, making things happen. We need both parts of our nature. But we can't destroy what we make. We have to, I don't know what the answer is, but we have to do something about this two-sided aspect of our nature. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.